Coming up on the DLLS Mavs pregame show, who's in, who's out in the Mavericks preseason finale as they take on the Milwaukee Bucks. All that and more on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Here we go. Hey, what's up, DLLS Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks insider Tim Cato, Mavericks analyst Bobby Carella. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys covering your favorite team every single day. It is game night for your Dallas Mavericks as they take on the Milwaukee Bucks in the preseason finale. Who's in, who's out, what to watch for. We'll get into all that over the next 30 minutes as we get you ready for the Mavericks taking on the Bucks at the American Airlines Center in the preseason finale. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Tim_Cato, at Bobby Carella. You can always dial up the Stein line at the Stein line for our national and Mavericks NBA insider, Mark Stein. Gentlemen, it is a glorious Thursday night. Fall is in the air. It also means basketball is in the air for the final time this preseason for the Dallas Mavericks. What's going on, fellas?
They should do a little trick where right before the game starts, they tell them this actually counts for the regular season.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like a prank.
I would like the Mavs' chances in that case.
Yeah.
You would.
Given there's only one big guy you've definitely heard of out for the Mavs. There's a lot more than that for the Bucks.
We'll get into that. And
why are you
who's in
calling
and who's
Luka
out.
big? I thought we agreed that he's in good shape.
There's one fit name out that you've heard of before.
That's right. Guess what day it is? Shout out to our guy Dirk, who's somewhere behind Bobby at some point.
Oh, statue's like right there.
This statue's right there. It's usually on the table. It's not on the table.
Hey, don't dox
Why is there
us.
a Cowboys helmet?
That's
on?
what I'm saying. Why is there
Don't-
Cowboy stuff on the table?
Don't dox the location
Tanner,
of the
what's
studio.
going on? Why is there Cowboy stuff on the table for the Mavericks pregame show? No, they're going to do it. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's how the Cowboys been playing. Just treat them like trash.
We fixed it.
Good job. Mavericks, Bucks, preseason finale. Who's in, who's out? What are we watching for tonight? Who you should be watching for? Let us know in the chat what you're most excited about in the Mavericks final preseason game. The next time this team gets on the floor will be on their season opener on October 24th, which, gentlemen, is a week away from tonight when they take on the San Antonio Spurs at the American Airlines Center. But before we get to all of that, it's all about tonight, and we've learned who is in and who is out for both the Mavericks and the Bucks. If you were looking for Luka Doncic, you already know that he's not going to be playing tonight. But also on the Bucks side of things, no Giannis, no Damian Lillard, no Chris Middleton as well. So the principals, if you will, for the Milwaukee Bucks will not be seeing action on the floor tonight.
Brig Lopez is out too, right?
I did not see officially if he is out, but I would imagine
I would
so.
assume so.
I would
Yeah,
assume
a lot of
so.
this is secondhand. So here's kind of
secondhand. I
the
have
first.
Go ahead.
Let's see
Go
if
ahead.
you
Go
pull.
ahead. Go ahead.
As we're all here, there's news coming out from the arena.
Yeah, no
so,
Brook Lopez.
Oh, no Brook Lopez too.
I kind
Okay.
of said it as a question because I wanted you guys to say yes, he's not out.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I just haven't
Because
seen
I
it.
was like 99% sure I saw him.
You wanted
yes,
the confirmation from us. Okay,
Yeah,
got
no,
it.
so this is preseason for everybody. It's our first pregame show, but yeah, a big part of obviously the preseason is just trying to stay healthy for the regular season. Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson are playing tonight. We've talked about how Jason Kidd said that they're gonna play 3 quarters or whatever. Given who's not playing,
he said pregame. He was asked if they might touch the fourth quarter, or I think he framed it that way. We'll see if they touch the fourth quarter.
yeah, given who's not playing for Milwaukee, I'm not sure that they'll touch halftime. But who knows? I
I
who
disagree.
knows?
I think that we're going to see the starting 5 come out in the
You think
starting.
so?
Yeah, Gafford is starting tonight per Jason Kidd. So I
Oh,
believe.
no Lively in the starting lineup. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought that was interesting. Don't
Okay.
think it's much of anything, but found that curious at least. But I do think that this is what the team views as a dress rehearsal. It doesn't matter who's across from them.
Mm.
The teams, if this is the game the team circled as being the dress rehearsal, you're going to play your players regardless. I do agree that without competition out there, without something that looks more like a NBA team that you would face, it is unlikely that they play deeper into that. Just kind of that dress rehearsal gets minimized without having.
There's just
a
not
Giannis,
as much of like a
Brook
let's
Lopez.
figure out how good we are kind of thing because you're
Yeah.
going up against back. And how it should mean that I wouldn't describe what we've done the last few days as copium, but like just the other day we were like, well, okay, Luka and Kyrie were out in a game where they committed 29 turnovers, but it looked like they were getting some good shots. Like they should have no problem getting good shots tonight. The Mavericks, even without Luka, are much, much, much better than the dudes across from them. So like this should be a game that the Mavs are able to like build a pretty sizable lead early on in, and they should be able to enjoy themselves a little bit. They should be able to kind of show what they're made of on offense a little bit. Again, even without Luka, just because Milwaukee's down so many guys. So
Yeah.
They're on the verge of going undefeated, not undefeated, winless.
Yeah.
In preseason.
Yeah. And this was the first preseason game, but Milwaukee went up 20-3, I think, against Detroit in their first preseason game, and they ended up losing that game by like 40 once they sat all their starters. So like Milwaukee is not a super deep team. Okay, and the Mavs, most of their starters are playing tonight. The Mavs should win this game very easily.
What is interesting about tonight's game, now that we've got an idea who is and who isn't starting, this means we will not have seen any of the projected starting five play on the floor together at all at any point this preseason for the Mavericks, which I was hoping that we would get to see all five together. But obviously with Gafford starting in place of Dereck Lively tonight, even Lively going to be coming off the bench. So the combinations of Klay and Kyrie and Lively together in the starting lineup, that's not even going to be a thing tonight as well. So I'm interested to see how that combination will work with Klay, Kyrie, and Gafford together. But most importantly, we will not have seen the starting five until opening night against the San Antonio Spurs a week from tonight.
I should note something here. At no point has Jason Kidd said Dereck Lively is the regular season starter.
That's very
as far
true.
as I've listened to pretty much every word he says in the media. I miss some. He does little side appearances. He has never said that. He said he was starting with the first team. We said, Mark Stein reported, we speculated, informed speculation that the reason he didn't start the first preseason game was because it was a second unit out there. He has started the game since. I'm just going to point out that with Gafford coming into this game, that at no point has Dereck Lively been anointed as the starting center. I still think it's overwhelmingly likely this is the starting center. I would be, quite frankly, shocked if he's not starting against San Antonio. But at media day, even Jason Kidd even said that there was a chance that both of these centers would get chances as starters this season. So I just want to acknowledge that, just want to point that out, just want to, don't be... I think that if Gafford starts at some point this year, I don't think it's going to be next Thursday, but if he starts at some point this year, that doesn't contradict anything Jason Kidd said.
Yeah, I think like both of those guys are cool coming off the bench. Both of those guys are cool starting. I wouldn't describe them as thunder and lightning like Brandon Jennings and who's the speedy back that the Giants had when they were winning those Super Bowls? Ahmad Bradshaw.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Brandon
so that's a
Jennings?
good relatable
Look at
reference.
you with your football
Not
bag,
Brandon
Bobby.
Jennings.
Look at you.
Brandon Jacobs?
Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs, yeah.
Oh my
There we
God.
go.
I was trying to think of Bucks guards.
I really need a log.
You said Brandon Jennings, and
Well,
I'm
like,
like,
say
Brandon
Brandon
Jennings
Jennings
and
out of the
Monte
click of my
Ellis.
head.
yeah, I was like, do you mean Monte Ellis?
No,
That's-
Dereck Lively, Daniel Gafford are the new Jennings and Monte. But no, like those guys do essentially the same things on offense, but they are different on defense. And so if you're cool with both of those, if both those guys are cool with maybe sharing their platooning or whatever you want to describe it as, then it would make sense based on the matchup to go with Gafford some nights and Lively other nights. But I really don't see the Bucks dictating that you start Daniel Gafford. So maybe this is just like a, hey, Daniel, let's just see how you do playing with Kyrie and Klay. Like, let's see if you can go set big screens for Klay or something. Like, there's probably some sort of reason for it.
Darren McFadden and Felix Jones.
That's a good one.
Both those guys were
that's a good
speedy, though.
tandem.
McFadden was like 97 speed on NCAA.
Ezekiel Elliott and
Felix Jones. Felix Jones.
I was going to say Tony Pollard.
And
but
the
guy he just said.
Marion Barber, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that was a good one.
That
That was a good one.
Julius Jones, Marion Barber.
I didn't know this was a football
Julius
show, but you guys are
Jones
coming out
and-
with your deep bags and football
I've
tandems
got
tonight.
deep Cowboys lore.
Bobon and KP.
Oh, okay. Or,
Am I bringing it back to sports here?
or basketball?
Okay.
Yeah, that
to
works.
a specific sport that we are paid to
That's what
cover.
we're actually
Yeah.
supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, but like I think this is more of a Mavs thing. Like what I'm saying
Tanner's
is
like, cut this show off, all right? You're like, jeez,
I
man.
think during the regular season you will see matchup-based decisions at starting five sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is a matchup-based decision. I bet this is a, hey, let's just see how you do with
Let's just
these
see how
guys.
it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like against Lively was pretty good in the Denver games actually, but like against Jokic, for example, or Embiid, maybe you want Gafford out there to start, just a bigger guy, you know?
I agree with that. I think the most interesting thing that could happen to the starting five is that PJ Washington's role every once in a while is swapped for maybe Najee. And again, in a matchup-based decision. I wonder if you could juggle that. I went on Nate Duncan's show yesterday, and we were talking about, Nate Duncan was saying he much prefers Najee Marshall in the starting five. And
Interesting. Okay.
I think I disagree. I think PJ has to be in there most of the time. I think hypothetically in the scenario, it's Klay Thompson's role as the three that would make a little bit of sense to move around. I don't think that's something that's even going to be considered by the coaching staff for half the season. But if you can do it at center, and if you lay the groundwork for matchup-based decisions at center, where sometimes it is going to make sense for Daniel Gafford to jump in.
I was just going to say, that is such a bummer comment. Sorry. We got some...
So Mavs PR has just updated the injury report for tonight.
Yeah.
And Luka Doncic, obviously with the left calf contusion, is not playing. Kyrie Irving is now not playing either.
I've heard of that guy.
He's resting. Obviously, Maxi Kleber is out. Dante
So everything's the same. It's just that now Kyrie is resting.
Now Kyrie
is also not playing in this game.
Tanner's like,
all right, we got to restart.
Okay,
That's
so
kind of
So I
interesting.
did say the Mavs should win comfortably. I take that back. They should win. They should win uncomfortably.
Kind of interesting that Klay's still in there.
Yeah.
Klay, the oldest player on the team that in the rotation. That
Need to see a couple shots go through, I think, just for vibes.
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. I was really excited for the idea of what we were gonna hopefully see tonight. But obviously, as this game is, gonna be happening here in the next half hour, my goodness, man, I think teams around the league, and this is my honest opinion, I think teams around the league have looked at the injuries and seeing what's going on right now. It's better just get out of the preseason healthy at this point.
Guys are getting hurt in camp. They're not even getting hurt on the court.
But I was just saying, period. Like whatever you can do to get these guys to the regular season at this point. The preseason finale for a lot of seasons, it doesn't matter at this point. Get to October 22nd healthy, and let's start playing basketball from there. And I feel like that's one of the reasons, again, Kyrie Irving not playing as well. Just get to the regular season at this point.
I like that Brandon says 28 turnovers are better tonight is my bar. I agree. Let's just do better than last game. Just 28 turnovers or fewer this time.
Yeah, the Mavs had 29 in the game against the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah. How about this? They're not even going to turn it over 20 times tonight. I'm going
Wow.
there. I'm going there.
You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot.
Wow. I can finish this theory of mine.
Yeah,
you
please.
Go
ahead.
Pick it up after the break?
No,
we knock
go
it
ahead.
out now?
Go ahead. You got it.
No. We got interrupted by real news. No, that was
real news.
my theory. Just a fun little theory I'm tossing out there. What if you have Dereck Lively and Daniel Gafford in somewhat of a starting platoon where it is matchup based, and both of those guys are going to respond well to it? What if you're laying the groundwork for some future games and matchups where it does make sense for Klay Thompson to come off the bench? Because that is something. So if you set a precedent for it, and you set a precedent for it with two guys who are not going to respond negatively to it, and thus the locker room is already seeing these two guys cycle in and out of the rotation. And then all of a sudden, when it does make sense for Klay Thompson not always to start, or PJ Washington not always to start,
I like where you're going with this.
They have no room to complain.
I like where
you just go point at these two other players who are absolutely both worthy of this, starting spot, and you say, well, if they're doing it just fine, so why isn't it an issue with you?
Yeah,
completely harebrained idea.
It's a compelling case.
I like where you're going with it. Honestly, I do. I like where you're going with that.
I think PJ should start every game that he's available.
Same. Lively, I think should start every game that's available too,
I'm potentially with you on Klay and Najee, but I just don't think, and I've said this
or
before.
Quentin Grimes, quite frankly.
Yeah. I don't think that Najee, and this could just be because I'm just a Luddite, but I don't think that Najee is a really good mix on the court with Kyrie and Luka at the same time. Because he just, I want Najee to touch the ball and do some stuff. I don't want him to just be playing off. I want Najee on the floor with one of them. I am very interested in Kyrie, Grimes, Luka, PJ, Lively, or Gafford.
Grimes
or
is the
whoever.
guy. Grimes is much more the guy, and I think he needs to prove that in the regular season. But he's the guy who.
But the political optic thing of like bringing Grimes in as a starter for Klay whenever Grimes last year was contract and Klay is Klay Thompson.
That's
like,
why you lay the groundwork now.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's why you set up this team.
But set
up the locker room.
I mean,
so that
Thomas asked, like, does Klay want to come off the bench? No. I don't think Klay wants to come off the bench.
I don't think he would have come to Dallas if he was going to be coming off the bench in a regular role in that way.
Yeah, but I mean, this is also it's preseason game 4. We're just having some fun.
Yeah,
because no one will be at the arena. Just kidding. Everyone will be having fun at the arena, except for the players.
People, once they learned that Kyrie is out tonight, they started leaving. People had already sat down in their seats.
Hey,
they're just walking out.
They're
throwing out like a full tray of chicken fingers.
Oh, don't waste the tendies. They're good this year.
They're better this year.
Good this year.
Can you take food out of the arena with you?
You can, but you can't get back in. So you better.
You can take food out. That's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't take beer out with you.
More here on
this was America.
Oh my gosh. More here on our DLLS Mavs pregame show. Who will actually be playing and who we can expect to get some major minutes now that we know who's in and who's out. We'll do all that and next here on the DLLS Mavs pregame show.
But first, real quick, I want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing here at DLLS Sports. So many of you in the chat look familiar. You might have seen our shows before, but if this is your first time watching us, or maybe you've forgotten, we got a website too. AllDLLS.com, and if you go to AllDLLS.com/diehard, you can sign up today to become a diehard. What that gets you is access to our entire website, paywalled written content from people like Tim Cato, Clarence Hill, Joe Hoyt on the Cowboys, Jeff Wilson on the Rangers, Sam Nesser on the Stars, and hey, the Stars are in season right now. They actually got a game going on. Yeah, they're undefeated. They got more wins than the Cowboys. They've only played like 4 games. It's unbelievable.
Ludwig walking around here looking like a stud.
But we got.
I said Craig Ludwig walking around here like a stud.
He is. But we're going to be bringing you a bunch of free stuff here on YouTube. So 5 live shows per week, including pre and post game for every single game during the regular season and throughout the playoffs for every team in town. But if you want more stuff like written content, merch, you get a free shirt when you sign up, but you get a discount on merch, discount on live events. You get to join the Die Hard Discord. There's a whole lot of perks and bennies that come with being a diehard. So I highly encourage you to do that. Bennies is a very common word to say for benefits.
Relax,
it's a very
it's not.
common way to shorten that word. And if you want to become a diehard today, you can. Again, alldlls.com/diehard. That's the best way you can support what we do. But hey, if you just want to hang out with us here live on YouTube 5 times a week before and after Mavs games, you can do that too. We got pregame. We'll have post-game shows with this crew and also with Mark Stein, who will be joining us live from the arena after every single dang game or in studio whenever the team is on the road. So there's a lot of reasons to be excited about the Mavs this year, and hopefully we're going to make it more fun for you every single step of the way here at DLLS Sports. Same if you're a Stars fan, Rangers fan, Cowboys fan, TCU fan, pretty soon FC Dallas, Dallas Wings, every team in town, we got you covered.
AllDLLS.com/diehard. Become a diehard member today and get your physical diehard card to show off your membership here at DLLS Sports.
Mean Green? We're going to cover the Mean Green?
We better cover UT Dallas first.
We're 5-1 this year. How's your football team?
Never lost a game.
Interesting. Seems like you don't have one.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports here on YouTube, trying to get to that 10,000 subscriber mark.
Apparently, if I heard this earlier today, if DLLS Sports gets to 10,000 subs by next Friday, Jesse Holley will, for the first time in his life, eat Taco Bell.
Oh wow, that is the perfect reason
he will eat Taco Bell.
I think us on 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I'll
I want to see that personally.
500th time in my life.
I'll do it. If you sub, if you unsub, I'll go eat Taco Bell. I don't care.
Okay.
Cantina chicken slaps.
Make sure you go and like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports here on YouTube. Who is not playing is the story tonight for the Mavericks. Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, among others that are out. Giannis, Dame, and Chris Middleton not playing for the Milwaukee Bucks. So what does that mean for the Mavericks and certain guys who have an opportunity to get some shine themselves? One guy that we've been talking about quite a bit who's going to have more opportunities tonight, Jazz Gortman. Going to have a chance to continue what has been a strong preseason start for him. We'll also see more of Jaden Hardy. There'll be some guys with some opportunities to play. Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes included in that as well. Who among these guys are you wanting to see continue what has been either a strong preseason or do you get a little bit more run just to get a little bit more look at them before the regular season?
Well, I mean, Kevin, I would like them all to continue having a strong preseason.
I mean, that's true. That's very true.
I hope
Good
that
point.
everybody in.
But if one of them has to fail, who do you want it to be?
I hope that everybody in their chosen profession succeeds at all.
That's sweet,
always.
Tim. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Not every chosen profession. Some professions suck.
That's true. That's true. There's a few of you out there that I'm not
Yeah,
effing
I got my
so.
eyes on you.
with. Yeah. I think Jazz is interesting. I think the only stakes to a game like this is, will a noticeable standout performance really change what we're thinking about the final two-way spots? There's not really anything else at play here. I think it's good if Quentin Grimes keeps playing well, but I expect him to play well in the regular season. If he has a bad night tonight, I'm not going to think differently of him. It'd be cool if he shows, a few more passes. That's something that I wasn't sure about his game.
Yeah.
And that's why it stood out so much in the last preseason game, that he was able to run a couple pick and rolls and just show some
Yeah,
competency.
that was like
there.
something that I learned about him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other players I could learn something about.
So the thing is, like, I guess it would be stuff that we would learn about, and that's the
Right.
real story of like training camp and the practices and workouts before training camp. Like, the Mavericks have probably, let's be honest, they've probably already made up their mind what they're going to do with Jay-Z and Gortman. Are they going to keep him? Are they going to let him go? Are they going to two-way or roster or whatever? Like, they've probably already made up their mind, unless something just impossible to imagine happens, or a guy gets hurt or whatever. Like, that decision has probably already been made.
And it's like, what if he does score 20 points tonight? Does that outweigh the many, many, many more hours that Dallas has seen with this player?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Maybe they're so on the fence that it could swing it one
Yeah.
way or the other.
But then there's also, like, you can respond to the intangible thing of maybe they already know what they want to do with him, but they haven't told him yet. And so they're going to, like, tell him, like, hey, there's a lot riding on this game. So, like, apply pressure on him, see how he responds. Like, that's not even, like, sociopathic or, like, playing mind tricks or anything. That's just, like, a real
It's
thing.
psychology.
Yeah. How do you respond to pressure?
Yeah.
How is Gortman, who knows that this could be the last game he plays in the NBA ever, how is he going to play? How is he going to respond? I mean, you could learn a lot about a guy. Then again, he could play great, miss a few jumpers, but, like, do everything else great. So, like, it just, who knows what the stakes are. But, I mean, all these end-of-the-bench guys, like, whether they get a two-way contract with the Mavs or an offer from somebody else,
It's an audition.
like, there is something to play for
Yeah.
them, for sure.
Let us know in the chat as well who you're excited to see play tonight and see some minutes for some certain guys who are looking to make an impact in tonight's game. And Coop made a point a little bit earlier about the idea of just, hey, look, man, it's preseason. I just want everybody healthy at this point.
That's the first thing Jason Kidd said. He was asked, what are you looking for tonight? Health.
Yeah.
Then he said healthy. And which one's grammatically correct there?
I'm looking
What
forward
are you
to
most
health.
looking
I'm looking forward
to?
to
Yeah, I'm looking forward to health.
everyone being healthy, good health.
I'm
I
looking
think he was
forward
right.
I'm looking forward to the buzzer sounding with a healthy roster.
Same.
But yeah,
Same. Yes.
legitimately, that was his answer.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, somebody went and asked Doc Rivers, this is what Jason Kidd said, the health thing.
Yeah.
And Doc Rivers said the only thing he's focused on is his golf game.
Sick burn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick burn.
But then he gave a serious answer to it and talked about how short the Mavericks season was and said Luka played in the Olympics, which he didn't.
Which he
played
did
in
not.
qualifying tournament.
He played in
least.
qualifying, but that's
Yeah.
not what Doc Rivers said.
That's true.
And
That's true.
I expect a medical doctor to not be lying to me.
That's very
The
true.
only
it's the bare
person
minimum.
that's allowed to misspeak is us.
Oh, that's
And by
sweet.
person, I
Yes.
mean people. Even
Oh.
I misspoke when saying that.
You did. You sure did, actually. Now that you pointed it
Well,
out.
you know what? The good thing, it was allowed.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Because they're
approved
us.
it before you even made the
Yeah.
mistake. Good job.
Yeah, Doc Rivers, focus on your own team, pal. Leave J. Kidd alone. No, I mean, and to that end, to the health end, like, pretty big bummer that the Mavs haven't been able to see Kessler Edwards.
Mhm.
You know, now they got to ostensibly see him in preseason workouts, pre-camp workouts,
Right.
and things like that. Maxi Kleba, same thing, but like,
last bit of news from the Jason Kidd presser. He
Okay.
said that Maxi, everybody is looking good. Everybody seems to be on track, other than Exum, of course, to be ready for Thursday.
well, that's
I
good.
specifically, I asked everybody other than Exum, are they all on track for Thursday? And he reiterated that Luka was, and he said that Maxi was as well. He didn't say we're 100% sure, like Maxi is going to be there Thursday,
Yeah.
but he said he's on track to be.
Okay.
He didn't actually acknowledge that with Edwards. I didn't feel a need to follow up, but he did say everyone was on track to be ready for Thursday.
And I've said that even without seeing Edwards play in a Mavs uniform, I don't think that the team should cut him to make room for any guy. Like, I think he's 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", long
ton of
wingspan
NBA
defender.
experience as well.
They need to keep him.
Yeah,
they need to keep him. So if you're trying to find a spot for Gortman, look somewhere else.
Yeah,
he's bounced around the league. Edwards has, because all he does, or like his offensive game, is just his shooting.
Yeah,
he needs to develop just a little bit as a ball handler, as somebody who can put it on the floor, make smart decisions, not be turnover prone. The reason Dallas has him on a two-way is to see if he can develop that stuff further, just naturally as he's aging. It's not an unreasonable bet. But so to some extent, yes, they do need to see him on the court, but they know the type of project he is, and that's why they committed to him. That's why they signed him to a two-way deal.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, like...
And so I feel they're going to keep him.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, so he was with Sacramento last year, playing in a system where it's a lot of high post stuff, a lot of handoffs, a lot of speed with Sabonis and Fox doing their whole deal. Before that, he played in Brooklyn with Kyrie and KD, and that was kind of its own different experience. If there's a single place in the NBA where if all you can do is catch and shoot and defend, and you want to make a team, like, this is the place to do it. Because Luka and Kyrie do all the ball handling.
Mm-hmm.
There's significantly less motion. The one guy that's going to be moving around is like one of the best shooters of all time. You don't have to do anything but catch and shoot and defend.
Yeah, and make informed triangles.
Yeah, just make triangles all the time. And so I think like that should play. I mean, that should play to his strengths, like the need for a guy that can do that sort of thing. But
he's like
again,
Reggie Bullock,
right?
Like that is
or Dorian, or not as good, but
right. But Bullock,
guy.
like a Walmart brand Bullock, is a really good description of his game.
Great value,
he's a two-way player. That's not offensive to him. Reggie Bullock is a good player to aspire to.
He's bigger than Reggie Bullock, and
he's bigger.
That's super important because this team, like, if you sort by height, there's a pretty big gap between 6'6" and 6'10", and there's like one guy in that height range.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just love the metaphor or the example that you chose.
Yeah, great value.
Great value at Walmart.
Maybe defensively he's great value, Dorian, and offensively he's great value, Reggie Bullock.
Either way,
and that's a fine player.
You can find him at Walmart, apparently.
And so that's why I think they need to keep him, because he's also one of the only players on their team that's not 6'5" or 6'10". Like, he's one of the only true wing size players they have.
Him and Prosper. And
Omax isn't going to play much, and Najee will, PJ will, but there's only one of those guys.
Like,
Omax will get some run tonight. That's for damn
Omax
sure.
has a higher. Omax obviously, I mean, not obviously, but I feel very strongly Omax has a higher ceiling than Edwards. But Edwards is possibly more NBA ready right now if you need a wing to just put in there.
Yeah. So. And that is the point, honestly, of two-way guys. Like, sometimes shot in the dark, long shot guys. Other times it's just, in the event something happens, we can call you up and put you in a game and not have to do this.
Right.
Last little bit, PJ Washington expected to play 20 to 25 minutes tonight, according to Jason Kidd. So PJ Washington going to get some more extended run after making his preseason debut against the Clippers the other night. But the Mavericks get ready for their preseason finale tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. A lot of guys with some opportunities to get some extended run. No Luka, no Kyrie for the Dallas Mavericks. No Giannis, no Dame, no Chris Middleton for the Milwaukee Bucks. So a lot of guys who you may not have heard of are going to get a chance to have some run tonight. We're talking about the Bucks, it is, but you know who they are for the Dallas Mavericks. So we'll be back after the game is over with here on our DLLS Mavs postgame show.
10-15 minutes after the final buzzer is when we go live. So make sure you join us. We're doing that for every game this year, but it's about 10 minutes after the buzzer.
So we'll be right here. Mark Stein will join us live from the American Airlines Center as well. Tim Cato going to be doing this thing after the game as well. So make sure you come back with us here on DLLS Mavs, here on DLLS Sports, about 10-15 minutes after the final buzzer for the Mavericks preseason finale as they take on the Milwaukee Bucks. For Bobby, Tim, I'm Kevin. We're DLLS Mavs. This has been the DLLS Mavs pregame show. We'll see you after the game here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.